Alrighty, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to another Climb Isekai Memories video. I know it's been a while. I went on a vacation for winter break and was not able to record or anything. So I apologize for like the 2 week absence. Um, but I am back. Hopefully you had a happy holidays and a happy, I guess, New Year's celebration. It is the second currently of January, and we recently just got the Light 3.0 meta, so the very first 3.0 set of units, right? And I know it's been a little bit. We've had some time to experiment and such, and I wanted to talk about whether it is worth your crystals to summon on, because uh, currently um, the new banner or the new event, I guess, is all about the new year, Rimuru's New Year Legend. And yeah, we have the new banner. As you can see, we have the new Rimuru, who is the battle unit. And then we also have Shuna, who is the protection unit. So we're just going to go right into their kits and such and, see if it's actually worth going for them or not, right? Or whether you should save. So first, we're going to talk about Rimuru. Now, Rimuru, him, her, whatever, it's technically Raphael, but I mean, whether you want to refer to them as whatever is up to you. Um, but their first skill, intellectual processing, is a 55 skill cost at max, and it increases all allies' pierce rate by 100% for 1 turn, and decreases a single target's secret skill damage resistance by 50%, meaning for that turn, they will take more damage from ultimates, right? So whatever ultimate you decide to use, it will do more damage, and you will also be piercing on that attack. So pretty decent skill. It's not bad. It'll allow you to do more damage, and other units will be able to do more damage, and pierce rate is always nice, right? But the second skill, Solar Wave at max, it again costs 55. You have a 100% chance to stun a single target for 1 turn, and increases own stun strike by 40% for 2 turns. Now, stun strike is a new sort of, I guess, ability that they added into the game, where basically it just increases how much damage you do if they're stunned, I believe. So 40%, you'll be doing 40% extra damage for those 2 turns if the enemy is stunned. And again, it costs 55 skill points. So Rimuru, the new Rimuru, also has a single target ult for 475% normal damage, and then if you have them fully maxed out at 6 stars, it is for 80%, I believe. Trait is protection gauge by 6 every 3 turns, so not bad. Not like the initial first turn protection gauge, but I mean, it's always, protection gauge is always nice, right? And the valor trait, if you have a 2 or when you use a 2 combo, all of the enemies' soul secrets gauge increase is decreased by 10% or 20%. So yeah, that is the battle unit Rimuru, single target DPS. Now, I think in theory, Rimuru's kit sounds nice, kind of. I mean, you have a high pierce rate. You know what? Actually, hold on. Before we do that, let's go over both. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over Shuna, and then we'll go back and forth. So Shuna is the protection unit, and she buffs light attack by 12% and magic attack. So light magic is a new 3.0 meta, and it looks like they're continuing to do the specific type of attack rather than elements, because again, Shuna is buffing light and magic. So at max, she increases skill cost limit by 40. This stays the same. She increases Soul of Divine Protection skill point increase until the end of battle by 100%, up to a max of 500%. And she increases all allies' pierce power and stun strike until the end of battle by 10%, which is unlimited. Now, I believe that at max is also the same. I'm actually going to my Shuna really quickly. Yeah, it is 10%. So the only thing that changes as you level it up is the skill cost limit. So at level 10, it is 40. and her trait, she I guess, wait, what? Is this the okay? So no, this is just her regular trait. Sorry. Um, but when you use souls while one or more enemy characters have a secret skill gauge with 100% or more filled, the single target attack damage resistance of all allies is increased by 30%. So, and it looks like once you get her at 92, then it'll be twice per battle. So basically, and it sounds confusing, at least to me it kind of does, but basically when there's one or more enemies that have their ult and you just use any sort of souls, uh if it's a single target ult, then your allies will take 30% less damage, and it'll activate twice if you have her at the at level 92 or higher. And she does, I think that was her valor trait. She does have a regular trait. I don't know why it's not listed on here, but basically, when one or more allies has 70% or lower HP, then she buffs your pierce power by 14% at level 92. So yeah, looks like the new 3.0 meta is still about pierce power and also a stun strike, and the main focus is on blue orbs, considering she buffs blues, and the new Soka, if we go to her, she also orb changes into blues. So yeah, those are the two characters. Now, should you summon for these characters? I would probably say no. Now, the reason I say that is because Stun Strike is cool, right? I think Stun Strike is an interesting ability. Raphael can guarantee stun, and there's still like pierce rate and such, right? But the problem is that most of the content in the game you can't really stun. You can do, I think, Master Conquest and everything else below it. You can't do Extreme Conquest. Can't really do Tempered Edge. Usually, like Heroes Jubilee and stuff isn't able to stun in terms of PVE. For Valor Cup, I think the stun would be okay. The problem is that it's 55 skill cost, so it costs a lot. You have Guy, where the Fire Octogram Guy, who has the stun 100% for 25, and then you also have Alice, who has a 30% chance for like 15 skill points, but it's pretty low, right? So I think the guaranteed stun and the 40% damage increase is cool. But I don't know, it's too gimmicky. I think it's too niche. I just think you're not really gonna get more like really good use out of this character outside of very specific stages where you're trying to stun. And I mean, you could use this character as support, right? Like the debuff is nice, and you also do the pierce rate, so you can like stack that on another character, right? And for like Heroes Jubilee, you can bring them in if you have all of your requirements and you don't know who else to bring. You can bring this character in and put the debuff. It is a bit expensive though. I mean, obviously it's 55, so you do need to keep that in mind. But I think this character is a decent support unit, and can do good damage. I don't know if it's really worth, especially for like free-to-play characters, free-to-play players, or people who are just trying to save and aren't like wailing out, or like I guess like content creator, and you want to like make content on every new unit that comes out. I don't really think it's worth it. Also, Shuna is interesting. She's basically Watermelon, but instead of attack, it's the Pierce Power and Stun Strike. She is also another stacking character, so she might be a bit limited for short-term uses. Long-term, she will be pretty decent, I think. The problem is that she buffs your Pierce Power, but like there's no pierce rate increase aside from Rimuru. Um, I think if we go to the entire light team, who buffs Pierce rate? I know obviously Shizue does. Um, he debuffs Pierce resistance, I believe. Yeah, it's Pierce resistance. You do not. So yeah, I don't think there's a specific character um outside of Shizue who buffs Pierce rate. Let's see. Buff where are you? Pierce rate. Here we go. These two, oh, there's Alice. Yeah. I mean, I guess, but are you really using water Alice? Um you have Ranga as well, but that's only 20%. So I think like the stacking of Pierce Power and Stun Strike is cool. It's just really difficult, I think, because if you don't get the Pierce rate with this Rimuru, then the Pierce Power is kind of useless because it doesn't show up. And then the Stun Strike is also kind of useless because they're not stunned. You can't really stun many characters, you know? So, I don't know. I feel like you're just better off saving. Um, if we just clear this, right? Like, you could, I would probably just wait. That's what I would just recommend in general, unless you really want like all the new units or like you just want to summon immediately. Um, I think waiting just a little bit to at least see what the first new character is gonna be, and see how good these units are is worth, especially if you're not like a whale or anything, right? Or you're not like trying to spend money. Um, if you like these characters or like their design and you don't really care about meta or whatever, then go ahead, right? But if you're like free to play and such, then yeah, I would just say it's not worth it. They're too gimmicky, too niche, and you're just not really gonna see how good they are a lot of the times. Um, I think like they're kind of similar, Shizue and Shuna, but I think Shizue is still just a lot better. You have the full orb change, pierce rate, and you buff Soul of Combos damage. So I don't know. I think Shizue is still just better. Like Shuna's cool, but not really. You're not really gonna get much use out of her. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see. I guess depending on the next two units, I'll make an sort of update video. But I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. I threw one multi into this banner and I got Shuna, so I'll put out a showcase video showing whether she's worth it or not, or if she's decent, right? But yeah, just me personally, just like reading off their kits and from what I've seen so far, I don't think it's worth it. But again, at the end of the day, it is your crystals, so or your gems, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I apologize for the absence. I do also have a Discord server. The link will be in the description below. So, yeah, go check it out. It is kind of dead right now, but yeah, that's pretty much it. See you all later.